Hi, 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 hi.
Okay, let me see. Go ahead. Okay, we are live now. We had some technical difficulties, but we got them worked out. But the scary thing is, I'm not even sure what they were. So, hey, Scott, go ahead and talk real quick because we're
Well, your computer went through. This is one of those things. If you set your computer up for automatic updates, it can be sometimes a bad thing. I think
okay.
that's what
Let's
happened,
see.
right?
Go ahead. Okay, yeah. Hold on. Let me see here. Test, test, test. Okay, I can hear you. We just got to watch your volume, Scott, because it seems like you're hotter now. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Yeah, in order to get Scott on today, we had to go through Facebook chat, but we might try since we got it working. You want to try? Let's try and go FaceTime real quick. I mean, not FaceTime again, Scott. Let's hang up with this.
Sure.
Okay, cool. Hang up with that
And
and
if not, you can just run with it, and I'll run the chat. That's fine.
okay, cool. We'll work it out. All right, cool. I'm gonna call you on FaceTime. All right, bye. Okay, see if we get that. Get rid of Scott there. Yes. All right. We are getting this worked out. It is crazy. Hey, welcome everybody to episode 13. That's what it is. It's because it's episode 13. 13 on here, and that's the problem. I'm just adjusting my levels that I can see here so we can make sure you guys all hear nice and clean. And let me try and get Scott back on the line through FaceTime because uh, the Facebook Messenger was actually pretty hot how it was coming in. So we're going to try and bring Scott in here and see if we can get him going, and that would be cool. And apparently now my FaceTime isn't working. All this time it's working, and now it's not working. It's because it's episode 13. Anyway, so
See
we.
you? Can you see me?
Oh wait, I can hear you.
Ha, 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 ha,
Oh,
ha.
there we are. All right, cool. Hold on, Scott. Stay
Awesome.
there. Whatever you do, don't
Don't
move.
move.
Don't move. Let me go ahead and talk, Scott, and say something.
Check, check, check. 1, 2.
All
How's
right.
everybody doing?
We are getting there, people. Yay, we are getting
Yeah.
there. Let me put Scott full screen. Ah, okay.
Oh,
Okay, cool. We can hear Scott. All right. I think.
put yours to landscape.
Oh, man.
I
Picky,
know. I'm just
picky.
like on it.
On it. Okay, I hadn't got to landscape there. Hold on. Let me see. I'm playing the game. Where's my cursor? Where is my cursor? Okay, hold on. We are getting there. I hope everybody's doing well today. You know, this is a little goofy thing, a little issue we're having, but and overall, I can't complain.
Episode 13th. But yeah.
No, Scott, it's episode 13. That is why. Let me go ahead and move Scott over to here so I can make some adjustments, and we will get going, and then we're gonna check the chat and say hi to everybody. Let me move Scott over for.
Landscape.
I'm getting there. I'm trying to get there, Scott. It's because okay, just hold. Jesus, you know. Okay, hold on. Here we go. I'm getting to landscape. Hold on. Just man, picky. All right, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Landscape.
Yay.
Now it's
Thank you.
okay. Now
Thank
we'll
you.
put you back on your own. Scott gets his own screen. Just FYI,
No, I don't
everybody.
want my own
He
screen.
gets his own
It,
screen, and
it's like I'm sure a lot of people go through it. You don't like hearing your own voice, and you certainly don't like watching yourself. So,
I definitely can vouch for not liking to see Scott. So,
exactly.
all right, here we go. Get Scott's volume up a little bit. Okay, good. All right, now let's log into the chat and greet everybody. Right, welcome to Synth Talk episode 13. Episode 13 today. And you know, the funny thing is before this session, Scott and I were doing some really good work together on keyboard stuff. So it's like, hey Scott, we got to get online and get everybody set. And it's like, all right, great, go do what you got to do real quick. We'll meet back up. We'll do this. And then there's difficulties.
Yeah, then all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, it's like, what happened? So we're getting it all squared away, but today's gonna be a fun episode. Oh, and now my camera, and now my camera's like, no, no, because it's episode 13. Okay. Here I'm opening the app so I can kind of see you guys and interact, which I love doing, and we love doing. Um, get into the chat and just see how everybody's doing. I already see that it's a healthy chat. That's what I love that. I know Scott loves that too. I hope everybody's doing well out there. Everybody's staying safe and staying healthy, and you're just doing everything. Everything's going good, and I'm trying to see the chat. Oh, this is the wrong one. This is episode 12. We need to go episode 13. 13. So, all right, there is the chat. Hey, Thomas Cook, thank you. Yeah, that's right. Sexy. All right, cool. Let's see here. All right, here we go. Where are my glasses? Oh, okay. We will work it. Let's see. Hey, there's Bella. I see Bella. How are you doing? Christopher Fry, Cape Down, looking good for lockdown, that is. Tortog, ain't going anywhere. Scott's all good. Yep, we're looking good. Let me see here. Christoph, hey, can we still wish tones create here? Oh, wait. Can we still wish tones to create here? Yeah, absolutely. This session is we're going to be creating scenes and tones and just kind of having some fun, just showing you guys and gals out there like how we're going to go ahead and make custom tones. And Scott's going to help a lot with this. And, you know, like we said in the last episode, Scott will soon be able to have multiple cameras set up too. So hopefully he gets that tomorrow or Friday. So maybe by next week, one of the episodes going to be dedicated to shot. He's shot. He's shot to Barry. To Scott, showing you guys how he did some of his sequences for the Terminator and for the Mandalorian. So that's cool. Let me see. I'm going down.
XP Player. Did everybody see that Peter Gabriel cover on the Phantom? That was killer.
Oh, no.
That was actually done by Max Fattori, who is Roland UK or Roland Europe.
Roland Europe.
Yeah, he's a product manager for keyboards. He's been doing some awesome videos.
He's a beautiful dude, too. He's a real nice guy. He's from Italian, so he speaks really cool. So he's a totally cool dude. Actually, I'll tell you a story about Max. Maximilian is a totally hip guy. Love him to death. And I remember one of the things, I think you were there too, Scott. On one of the times we all went out to dinner, and we took an Italian from Italy to Los Angeles hood Italian restaurant.
Yes.
We're not going to mention their names, but they're in City of Commerce, for those of you guys that know LA. And we got him spaghetti. he did not dig that. He's like, oh, I will not eat this. It was just great. Awesome. Okay. I can't get Aftertouch on my Phantom 8. All right. So, those might be settings you might have to adjust, but today we're going to be talking about creating synth sounds, okay, synth sounds. Now, don't forget, if you need extra help on your Phantoms, there's a lot of good resources you can go to. You can go to roland.com, and it will geotag you and put you in the correct Roland portal for your part of the world. And then you can go ahead. There's a lot of different product, what are they called? The support documents that you can go ahead.
Knowledge base article.
Thank you, Scott.
You go into support at the very top of the page and can access the knowledge base and then type in.
Yep, knowledge base, and go and find that. And some of the issues you might be having, someone in the other part of the world might have too. And then also you can actually email questions, because we have a whole group of individuals that actually work on those questions and then we'll put on a knowledge base. I'm not sure if they're calling right now, or you can call them right now because of the current situation, but usually
I think it's still open, yeah. It depends.
Yeah.
I mean, and also that's all Roland direct. So if it's a direct Roland question or something, that would be the route to go. Sometimes you could just do it on the Facebook pages. I mean, a lot of the people that are on those pages are extremely knowledgeable.
Absolutely.
And everybody, a lot of people help.
Yeah, respect to all those people. I love the community on both of the Phantom pages that are on Facebook. If you haven't join both of them. A lot of the same guys are in there. They're just supporting, so it's great. I think one is out of the UK by Mr. Neil Goins, and then the other gentleman, I think he's out. What's his name? Francis, right? Francis does. So there's Phantom Platform, and that's Neil, and then there's Phantom Users 2019,
which is Francis, which is Australia.
Australia. So between those, you'll find somebody awake that can help you. So you can usually do that.
You find somebody awake. I like that. That's
well, yeah,
awesome.
because UK and then the time difference from Australia. And that's actually why we're doing these videos here on YouTube, so they can be shared, because we were doing Facebook Lives on each of the channels, but then we came to find out that if I do one-on-one channel, since it's a private group, I can't share it on the other group. And so we're still looking at ways to restream, do multi-streaming, and that might come soon. We're just figuring all that stuff out. All right, so if you haven't already done it, go to Facebook, join the 2 Fantom groups. That's a great resource for you. Also, go to your roland.com so you can find out more information on the Fantom through your different global portals. Also, make sure you go to Axial, axial.roland.com so you can download the 15E. Also, make sure you go to YouTube and subscribe to Roland Product Support, where there's 29 videos. And don't worry, what we're doing here is not going to take the place of those videos. This is more in this situation that we're all in worldwide. This is just a nice way for all of us to communicate together and hang out and talk about a bunch of synth nerd stuff. Just as close to face to face. Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, and at the same time, it's like we can get into things now instead of shooting a video, editing a video, and putting it together and then getting it uploaded. We can do this now, and we can address your questions immediately. Yeah. So this is cool for that, but it's also cool just to be able to hang out with everybody.
Absolutely.
And go through it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what this is for. Once we get out of once we go back to normal, hopefully, or the new normal, we'll figure out what we're going to do with this show as far as, is it going to go once a week, twice a month, once a month? We'll figure it out depending on what you guys want. But
the plan right now is to continue it on for sure.
Yeah, continue it on for I think at this time we're going to do Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays at 2:00 Central Time, and just keep it going. We have a lot of stuff. We're going to be going to, let's see, I think. Oh, I forgot. I already have it listed what we're doing tomorrow. So, and then, next week we're going to have a special guest, and then we're going to have Scott doing his thing, and we're going to move to Jupiter X at some point, and Jupiter XM again.
Tomorrow. Jupiter XM's tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's tomorrow. Jupiter XM, there's already a link on, I'll share the link after this show for that show, and it's going to be a general discussion because we've talked a lot about the Jupiter X. And we used the Jupiter XM in one of the previous episodes when we were showing how to do external MIDI control, but we didn't really go into it, and so we're going to have a general discussion about it and show how to go through things. The great thing about that keyboard already, I think we have about 30 videos already up on YouTube, Roland Product Support. For all of you that are thinking about the Jupiter XM or have one, there's a lot of videos that Scott kind of works with you in there. He stars in to get you guys going in there. And there's going to be more on that once we get Scott Studios up and going. And then we got a bunch of stuff going. All right. So let's see. Who else is here? I see Robin Spears. He's laughing. Why are you laughing, Robin? I don't know why. Let me see here. Tony, hanging out with everyone and talking synth is way better than the real world. Let's keep it going. Absolutely. So we're going to keep it going. So,
real quick, Mark had a question. He wanted to know what was the microphone that you're using, the Shure mic that you're using right now, and the arm that you have mounted.
Oh, none of your business. No. Bam! No, give that a wiggle. No, okay. Actually, all seriousness, I'm using a Shure SM7B. A Shure SM7B, and the arm that I'm using, I think they sell it at some of the big box stores. This is just an on-stage desktop boom arm, I think it's called. But you sell these at a lot of the stores. And then to get the audio even better on this guy, I'm using the Cloud. I think I can grab it.
Cloud Lifter.
The Cloud Lifter. If you look up Cloud Lifter, the CL-1, Cloud Lifter CL-1, it gives me more gain in the mic, so clean gain, so I can get the best signal I can. And I'm not running a compressor or anything, just a Cloud Lifter directly in, and the switches that I'm using are going into the Roland VR4-HD. And if you guys want to do see that how I'm streaming, maybe we can do that in a show, just so that way you guys can do that. And at my desk, I usually use a VR1 HD as 3 video inputs, 3 HDMI inputs. So that's there. As far as the camera, just since we're on this topic, my front camera is overkill. It is a Canon EOS R with a 16-35 L lens. It's f4. And then overhead, I'm using a Lumix G7 and a Lumix G85. Both are 4K cameras. but right now I have them in 1080, so that way it can give us really nice. And I like those because they can stay on the whole time, so I don't have to touch them. And that's what these are the cameras we shoot with. Actually, there's also a Canon 60D Mark II. That's what I shoot the videos with, but the EOS R is the one that I usually take out with me. Yep, I see here. A pint of cold beer for everyone from me. Oh, that's nice. I don't think we could have beer on his show, even though it's on my channel. And
well, this would be coming from, I think, Russia.
Oh, yeah. Kirill, you're from Russia, right? Oh, I don't know. That'd be fun. We could have a synth beer day. I don't know how that'd go over with HR. Yeah. Oh, and look, Robin has some good beer in Canada. You know, we're going to talk about beer. This episode, we're going to talk about all the different types of beers from your countries. Now, I'm just joking. If you would like, I'll give you a P.O. box number.
That is an interesting question. What beer would go best with the Phantom? What beer would go best with the Jupiter?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, yeah. Send in your questions now. And if you want to send me a 6-pack or a case of your beer from your country, please. No. Wait a minute. No, just get in all kinds of trouble. Oh, look. How about send us some Russian vodka? I don't know. Texas has some pretty good vodka. Tito vodka. Oh, no, Tito's. Going to start an incident. All right, let's get back to keyboards. Let's talk about keyboards before I'm like, squirrel. Let's go here. Because I do that. All right, so let's talk about doing sounds on here and on the Phantom. We're doing it in the Phantom, and then we could do a similar show like this once we get into the Jupiter X more, just kind of how we kind of go about making sounds. So, Scott, what do we do with some common sounds that people want? Or like I already see people doing... Oh, they're still talking about beer and alcohol. Stop it. Stop it. All right, so what's some good sounds you think we can go to first, Scott?
Oh, I can think of a simple one that we could go through, but it's one of the things that we're going to do here is sometimes when you're going after a sound or a specific sound, it's a lot easier just to find something that's close and then tweak it. Other times, yeah, you need to go from the ground up. But like for this example, if you just pull up a Jupiter 8 strings, string pad.
I'm going to start off by going to hold on, Scott. I'm going to start off by going to an Initialize Scene here. So I'm going to go in here, and I'm just going to go to Initialize Scene. All right, good. I'm going to follow what Scott says. Oops. There we go. Initialize Scene, and I'm going to go to Zone View. And what did you want me to pull up? A Jupiter
find up a JP strings or Jupiter 8 strings. Now, just a nice string pad.
Now, just as a reminder, everybody, I could go ahead and I could just search, find strings, or I could, once again, go into here, and remember, I can go Zone View. I can press Enter so I can see, and don't forget, I can actually search. If I want to, I can go all the way down here to All Category, and I could just hit Search, and Scott said a Jupiter, so that's probably a JP.
Yeah.
Probably a JP, and 140. So let's see what happens if I do JP 8. 75. So let's see what we have now. So it helps if I turn on the keyboard. Hold on.
Yeah, like strings 1 or strings 2 might be one.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Try strings 2 real quick. That might be a little better.
And look at all the Jupiter strings. So
you just want, what we're looking for is like a nice string pad.
And this is completely subjective. So
yep.
That one's good. Let's use this one, Scott. I don't.
Okay.
We'll just start here. All right. Go ahead. Drive.
So basically, you've got the string pad, and this sound is so easy to make. What you're going to do is you're going to bring the attack completely down to 0.
All right. So
in the amp envelope.
So in the amp envelope right here, I'm going to go into right here the attack, and I want it on amp. On the amp envelope, you said?
Yep, amp envelope, so, and you want to bring it down to 0.
So make sure that's selected, everybody, and I'm going to bring this down to 0. Like that, Scott?
Perfect. Yep.
All right.
Like that, and now bring up the cutoff until it gets kind of like a brightish sound.
Okay, and I'm going to use it's on low pass filter, and then we're going to adjust the cutoff. Tell me when it's good for you, Scott.
That sounds about good there.
Cool.
And play a little bit higher, go up 1 octave up. Perfect. Add some release so the sound stays a little bit.
Okay, ADSR, release.
A little less, but yeah, about there. You know where we're going, right? A little bit more release, yeah. There you go.
Okay.
Now, if you know Separate Ways, this is basically the intro sound.
Oh, so.
No, not that. Play the upper part.
Oh.
Do you know the upper part?
Oh.
Too high.
Yeah.
That's it. So you can go in there and tailor it more if you want, but that's basically it. And it's usually just taking a string or a pad sound, killing the attack, bringing it all the way down, add some release, bring up the cutoff, and it's there. It's done.
So that was pretty. What about, okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I like what this Scott said. So we'll call this, we're going to save it as a tone because we just did this new tone. And I might go ahead and say clear all. And I'm going to call this Sep Ways. What would you call that? Would you call that string?
Intro or riff? I don't know.
Let's call it intro. Intro, yeah, riff. Let's see if I can do intro.
Now, just so you guys know, the original song, Separate Ways by Journey, that part was done on a Jupiter 8. So it makes total sense to be able to take the Jupiter 8 string sound or pad and turn it into this.
Yeah. So we have that there. Let me see. So what about the next part, Scott? Since we're on separate ways.
It's the same sound. Okay?
Huh? Same sound, right?
Same sound, yeah.
So probably what I would do if I was doing this one, like Scott's saying, I don't have enough. I'm using a 76. I might go ahead and just for the time being, I would go ahead and do an octave up on top. But if I were writing this to play all the time, I would actually go inside the scene edit. So shift, and I'm going to select inside the scene. Let me get to where you guys can see. Oh, there it is. And then I would probably come into pitch and drop this one down, -12. So 1 octave. Just like that. So now we have. Yeah. I have to use 2 hands. I always mess. Because all I have is an octave.
It's also hard with the long release. You got to be really on it.
So that's pretty cool. That's one way. And so I'm going to go. I just will save the tone. I'm not going to save the scene. So we have this, the tone there. So that was a cool one.
Now to bring this up, the things that we changed in this tone was the attack, the release, and the cutoff, which are also offsets that could be done in the scene level. So if you were to recreate this sound, for instance, you wouldn't have to save the tone. You could bring it up, go into scene edit, use the offsets for it, and then just save the scene.
So I could have done what Scott is saying, and we didn't do it. We just showed you at the tone level. But if I wanted to have it in a scene and not have to write an initialized a new tone, I could have gone shift and gone into my zone edit, and I could have. I would have still done the octave lower just for me for live. But here we go in the offsets. Scott, we could have done everything here. Cut off the attack and the release. So it would have looked something like this. You know, you would make your adjustments, and then it would be saved to the scene, but not the tone. So that's something that's good there for you guys, and that was cool. It's so funny, Scott. Like if I was to do that tone, you know, because I also would have looked for a super saw. So right. I want to show you guys my way, which is just a little bit different. That's the cool thing about what we do, what all of us do. We have different ways to try and get to the same spot, okay? And it's just up to however you want to do it. So I'm going to do a similar way, but I would probably go in my way. Once again, I would look for something that's close, but I really love looking for, I'll go enter, I'll do a search. And mine's already in all category because we already did that before. I would probably just look up a super saw myself, and like I said, this is not saying anyone's right or wrong. Everybody has different ways to get there, and I like more of a super. I'm just gonna choose. Let's see. Do I have my ones that I like? Let me see if I have one. Oh, it's not in here. But I might go. Well, I had that one I liked right away. Too much. So I'd probably just go I might just go quick on here, and I might choose this Super Saw Key 2. But drop it maybe. Let's see if that fits. Which is a little bit different, a little bit varied, but I think on that one I would just look for a super saw. But technically, Scott, I think you also just went and did a super saw, but you actually went in and tweaked it a little bit different.
Yes, more or less. I mean,
Yeah.
it is a saw wave. Here's something that has always stuck with me with basic sound creation from when I had my Juno 60. So I'm going to date myself. This is back early 80s.
Oh.
First keyboard. I wanted to be a guitar player. Put that down. Went to the Juno 60. My old man brought it home for the family, and I took it over. But the thing is that you have to look at the sound that you're trying to create or anything like it. Is it brass-like? Is it wind-like? If you're thinking acoustic instruments, brass sound or like an organ sound or anything like that is usually going to use a saw wave. A hollow sound, like a clarinet or a flute, is going to be a square wave or a pulse width. So those two things have always stuck with me depending on what type of a sound that I'm trying to recreate. Where am I starting? And even as we get more advanced and we're using, sample attacks and samples and things like that of sounds, I'll still listen to a sound and go, what am I hearing? Am I hearing strings? Am I hearing a little bit of brass? Is there a bell in there? What's going on? And then I'll start to create or shape the sound from there.
Absolutely. So when you guys start, as Scott is saying, when you start doing more sound design, instead of listening for the overall sound, you're listening for aspects of the sound, just different parts.
Because most things nowadays, especially in the recorded field, are layered. Sometimes there's tons of effects on them. Like even the Jupiter 8 back in Michael Jackson stuff, a lot of times those bass lines were multi-tracked several times, slightly detuned, added effects, reverb, and stuff like that on there. So it's not the true raw Jupiter 8 sound that you're hearing. Same goes for today, is that a lot of sounds are layered, octave mapped certain ways and things like that. So you kind of have to keep that into consideration.
Yeah, and that's a great one. That's like when you hear a Jupiter 8 live or you hear a Jupiter X and you're trying to compare against a particular song that has a famous Jupiter 8, you're going to it just doesn't sound as full. Well, that's because the song, as Scott was just mentioning, was overdubbed. That Jupiter 8 part was overdubbed big time, more than likely, to get it even fuller, and then separate EQ.
Oh, I can verify that because I've talked to Michael Boddicker directly about that type of stuff and what he was using back then.
Yeah, so that's definitely cool. You know what, Scott? Since we're on this sound, I'm gonna say, hold on. Since we're on this sound, and I know it's not completely right. I got it, everybody. I know it's not completely right, but I'm thinking, you know what? I would probably adjust this sound. But
layer it with another string that's offset by an octave or something like that, and see how that sounds.
Well, let's see this. Whenever I do that song just for fun, I always use the delay big time. So I'm gonna try and come into here and maybe go into my effects, and I'm gonna just go use the delay, okay? And then I'm going to hit the parameter button over here. And you see, I want it to hit a little bit more. So I might go ahead and let me see here. I'm going to go ahead and maybe make some adjustments to that. So let's see here. Here we go. Oh, I'll just use, instead of going into parameters, I'm going to go right into the depth. So I wanted to almost double hit the sound for me using delay than me doing it. So I want to. Oh, I do need to go in here. So let's see. I'd probably go into the millisecond here. You hear it now? It's kind of like, and I'll just have to get. Okay, I'm gonna do something like this. Let's do this one and a little bit of programming. And I'm probably wrong, but this is how I've always kind of. So a little bit less milliseconds off, and we get these guys closer together. Closer. In here. We're getting closer. You see what I'm doing, Scott? Kind of how I'm kind of adjusting it the way I would do it.
Hey, whatever works. I mean, that's the beauty of this. Everybody goes about doing things differently. Sometimes it's an effect that drives the sound. Other times it's how it's built or layered or anything like that. But just to show different ways, I think is awesome.
So like,
you go, girl.
So a little bit faster. Let's do 300 milliseconds. Yeah. So it's actually, yeah. So you get the point. I actually would go in on that particular one. I would adjust the delay and find the milliseconds.
Do you have an option for note in that delay? Like,
let me see.
Note, quarter note.
I would probably go, you know what? Instead of this delay, maybe I'd go into maybe a 3-tap delay. Yeah, here we go. Oh, let me turn off these guys until I get it. Oops, wrong way. I might do something like that. Maybe do it, and you guys can correct me, and we can kind of just have fun. That's the great thing about this. We can kind of have fun with this and figure it out. So, but
yeah, the advantage of doing the note versus the milliseconds sometimes is it's easier to understand what you're trying to do. But try both. I mean, I've done in a lot of leads. I'll have one at like the left side would be like a 16th, and the right would be an 8th, or the left is an 8th and the right's the quarter or something like that to create more space. So experiment, play with.
Oh, I see Robin and some other people, they're saying do some LFO instead of delay maybe. Let's try that. So I'm going to go ahead and say let's go back into here, and I'll just go put it on through. So there's no delay on there anymore. So if I wanted to, I'd go shift, and I would go in, let's see, that'd probably be in the tone edit area. And here's some LFO. Let's go ahead and just find some LFO. Right, is that what you guys are saying? Like that? And what am I adjusting in my LFO? Scott, let me see here. Oh, I don't want step LFO. I just want regular.
Yeah, you got tempo sync on, which would be good because that way you can lock in the BPM.
I'll do rate probably like 16th, maybe. There we go. And then, here we go. What would I want to do? I would want to do probably, and here's the
filter. It'd probably be the filter more than anything else, or amp or filter to give it a little bit of a push and pull.
You can hear it now. Let me adjust that tempo.
Or bring the rate down too, yeah.
That's actually sounding a little hipper. And go back up to rate and adjust. Oh, look. Bit a little rate detune. I dig that. And I kind of like the 16th in there. Maybe this put. I really put up that filter depth in there. Maybe that would. And then somebody put sunglasses at night. What is that?
Corey Hart. Yeah, Corey Hart. Where's the sunglasses at night?
Is it? Yeah. So yeah, I would probably still stick with my delay. I'd probably dig into the delay and kind of adjust those because I want that dun-gun, just by using one key. That's probably what I would do on that one. So, or maybe just adjust the depth. That's a little closer. But anyway, the cool thing is we can actually dig in there and just kind of have some more fun. Have some more fun and just really dig and see what we have going. So that was just one. And cool thing about that is that we were just using Super Saw. So we're just using Super Saw stuff. Let's do another one, Scott. Let's get away. Let me go. I see you answering, Scott. Let's see what's going on in the chat real quick. Oh, Broken Wings. Are they rolling pads? Those pads, okay. So pads. Broken Wings. I'm trying.
Yeah, the Broken Wings pad. The other one that we got earlier, and I forget who recommended it. Maybe Tony or somebody was In the Air Tonight. The pads.
Oh, the pads.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, In the Air Tonight. I don't see. Can I bring that up? Let's see if you guys can hear this. Maybe I'll bring up my music library and we'll see if you guys can let me know if you can hear. And we can't play the whole song because probably get in big trouble. But wait, hey, somebody tell me what is the phrase you have to say? I'll put it's we're not copying the song. We're just doing like
it's for personal use?
No, it's for educational. It's
education. Yeah, this is education.
This is educational. So I'm pulling up the music library real quick on my Amazon, and let's see. But I think what do you guys think that one's built off? That one for me, I would probably go back to a Super Saw string rather than a real string because I don't think they didn't have real strings down yet. You know what I'm saying? So they didn't have it down yet. Here we go.
What are you talking about? Say that again. Sorry.
In the Air Tonight. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Can you?
Yeah, because you're talking about one person that, I mean, you go back to Genesis, early Genesis with Phil Collins and Gabriel, and I mean, those guys did some amazing stuff back then. So you're coming from that background, and then it was just finding simple things to fit the mood. So what was available when that song came out? That would have been mid-'80s.
Yeah. So yeah, that's another great way for sound design. Do a little research and see what keyboards they had available, and that's gonna streamline what's available. So that's gonna really help. Okay, let me see. Let me see if you guys can hear.
Barely.
You can hear. Let me hear. Scott, don't talk while I turn this up. You can kind of hear it. Okay, but it's like a real subtle thing. So how would we start that off? Let's go ahead and kind of look through some sounds right away. And the cool thing about this part, it's actually I think it's actually pretty easy, the whole. Right? Just pretty much a D minor into a C major into a B flat major. Is that right? Let's see here. All right, let's go start off and going in zone view. Let's see, what kind of things will we find? I don't think I'd go with strings per se, Scott. I'd probably start off with maybe a pad. What do you think? You there, Scott? Did I kill you?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. A pad. Yeah, I'd probably start with a pad. I'd listen to it and try to find something close, and then probably layer or adjust as I needed.
And let's see. What?
There's a beautiful, and I don't remember where it's at. There's a Juno 60 pad that's in there that's amazing.
Hey, check out this one. If we use the OB strings, that could be
take off some of the cutoff.
All right.
Bring it back a little bit so it's not so bright.
So bright.
And maybe give it a little bit more attack.
Okay, let's do that. So I'm going to reach over here to my filter. It's using a low-pass filter. So that's... And then we're going to take off some of the attack. So it's on the amp right there, amp envelope. Or no, yeah, amp envelope. Okay, let's try it now. I might adjust that filter a little bit more.
Yeah, also just drone the D.
Oh, the drone?
Yeah, just hold the D down and play the chords.
Let's see. I think the attack is too slow, in my opinion.
Yep.
Maybe there. Let's try it. Drone. And then. I could live with that if you wanted to, right?
It's still a little bright to me. What do you guys think? What does it need? Let's get the chat in there and see what they all think.
And then while they're doing that, I'm gonna go back into zone view and then because I'm a big proponent, I like how they did it like on the album, but I tend to find sometimes some artists they give you something extra live. You know what I mean? And then especially since we're talking about an old song, and then would they necessarily do it exactly the same, or would they kind of like make it hipper? You know what I mean? Just kind of bring some stuff on it. So I might start off with that same. Oops. I might start off right that same. But I might go ahead and put in another zone. I might go ahead and say, all right, let's bring in maybe some kind of choir. And have them layered together. And there's my original sound. And I'll bring in this choir. Just a little subtle. And then maybe go inside the choir. And this is all personal. You guys can just kind of really have fun with this. I would probably go into that choir. And, oops, where are we? Go into the pitch. And I might put them up an octave versus the other one. Yeah. But I want the choir not super loud. See there, it's loud. I want them just in there. Right, what do you think, Scott, for just something a little bit? And you could always bring that in. You could use a keyboard switch group, right, Scott? We could have a keyboard switch group.
Well, I think, you're kind of going into the Ed version of it, which is cool.
Rude.
And it sounds great. But
sad.
Yeah, it depends
sad.
on what you're doing. I mean, I think it sounds good, but for the song, something like that, I would agree. If I wanted to up it a little bit, I'd probably start with the first part and then slowly start bringing in the choir for a little added oomph.
And then,
but that pad sound in the air tonight is really, you have to listen to it. It's very muffled. It's pulled back, so that means the cutoff is going to be down. One of the guys suggested, I think it has a chorus on it, you know, to give it a little bit of a movement.
Let's take a look. That's a good suggestion. So, okay, I'm going to exit one time. There we go. And I make sure I have that strings. I have that that choir that I put in. I have it turned off right now. Okay, so all you're hearing is the OB strings. All right, let's go. Where do we go, gentlemen? If we're adjusting here, I'd probably go into either the effects here, or I could do tone edit that way. So either way, I'm going to go from here so we can go ahead and use these knobs. Exit. Oops, be careful with the exit buttons. All right, so we'll go over here and let's have fun. Let's have fun with effects. So I think the choir, the chorus there's the chorus. Select it. Oh, you can tell right away.
Yeah, it's going to widen the sound big time.
Let's take a listen to it now with that suggestion of the chorus. I like it. I think it did widen it up.
I still think it's too bright of a sound.
All right, let's go ahead and adjust that filter for Scott because he's mean. How about like that? Like that could work. Okay, and I'm gonna edit this one. I'm gonna edit this one. Hold on. Let me edit this one a little bit. I'm gonna put in the D50. I'm gonna put in some D. It's just like, no, you're not. Yes, I am. I'm gonna put in some D50 in here. I'm gonna put some Fantasia. I don't care what you say.
No.
No.
Way.
No. Yes. Watch. You do.
I'm telling you, search for there's a Juno or a JU. There's a Juno 60 pad that's in there that is really good. And if you layered it underneath it and even possibly shifted an octave, it could be quite a big sound.
All right, we're gonna do what Scott says in a second, but I'm gonna edit this a little bit. So I'm gonna edify this. So we have that. And then
This is called Ed's Not in the Air Tonight.
This is Ed's Not in the Air Tonight. Haterade. And then bring a little bit of choir. And then we can bring... And look, I just brought a little bit. But this could be like in the middle of the song when they're like, you know, doing more.
Right.
You could bring in some more, so it's not just the same. So like,
not that.
Yeah, not that note. Anyway, okay. What was yours, Scott? You said to add. I still have that OB string. What was the one that you said to add?
Real quick, Abel, yeah, how many sounds with all the EXE's expansions? I think it's in the neighborhood of like 8,600 something.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's like a Juno 60 pad or a J60, JU60, something like that that's in there. That is just, it's an awesome sound.
So I'm going to look up, remember, this is a good thing. I'm going to go in here, press enter, and I love that search feature. I'm going to make sure it's on all categories, so it's going to just pull. And, okay, and Scott said a JU and 87. Let's see, JU should bring up, right, that should bring up. What did you say, Scott? A JU what?
It was a Juno pad. It was like either the 60, I could have sworn it said 60 on it somewhere.
Let's go ahead and take a quick peek.
There's a Juno 60 BS down there on 671.
Hold on.
I don't know if that's it.
Okay, hold
See
on.
it? It's on the left side of the screen. Left side. There you go.
That's a bass.
No, that's not it. That's not the pad. There's so many sounds.
Yeah, there's over 8. This keyboard, I have it maxed out with all 15 expansions, which if you have the Phantom, you should do that because it's free. So, would you say like a string, Scott? Is that what?
Possibly, yeah. Try that. No, it was a little bit more muted than that. What about the one up above it? There's another.
Ooh, I like. Look at that. What'd you say?
That might work.
Let's try that one, and then let's say so. Here it's got and that OB string on number 1 is turned off. Just FYI.
Okay.
So all you're hearing is that Juno. Oh God. Oh, what is it? Okay. Squirrel. Look, this Juno strings sounds like what is it? The Van Halen. I can't.
Yeah, it's always.
I don't know. Anyway, squirrel. Okay. Anyway, so hey, that's another nice thing while we're doing this kind of stuff. You could be doing a sound, finding tones for one song, and then you're like me, Mr. Squirrel, and you hear like, ooh, what's this sound that wasn't even looking for? I would probably go and I would write it down and like, hey,
that could be good for this.
That could be good for this.
It's like the current one that you have. I'd probably give it a little bit more attack. I'd still pull down the cutoff.
Okay. So, let's go back to look, Scott's like not even going to talk to me. He's like, no, we're not going to talk about that. We're going to make this sound. Okay. So you say bring down the cutoff?
Yep.
Oh, look, I can do it by there, or I can do it. Okay. What do you think? And then you want to adjust the attack, maybe?
Yeah, I want to give it a little bit of attack.
How's that?
It's better. Again, the version that I'm hearing is a little different than probably.
That doesn't sound bad, For most people at the club, they're going to be like, "Whoa!" So keep that in mind. Let's put that OB that I have on part 1 together with that Juno strings on part 4. So here's the Juno strings. Great, and then here is the OB strings. It's a little bit different. The OB to me sounds a little bit darker than the Juno strings. So,
yeah,
go ahead.
I've always thought a lot of the Oberheim stuff's a little bit brighter. Now keep in mind, like the OB8 and the Jupiter 8 were really close in their filtering.
Yeah. So, how about this, Scott? What if we take? I'll turn them both on, and I'm gonna bring down that Juno strings, and all you're hearing is OB, and then maybe we'll bring it up. So, so that way that Juno doesn't really overtake it, because... What do you think, Scott? A little bit better?
Yeah, that would work. That's an option. Again, this is what's so cool, is that nothing's set in stone. Any of you guys can go back and create your own, or go, no, it sounds a little bit darker, or it sounds brighter, or I want to layer it this way, and that's what's cool. All we're trying to do is kind of show you sometimes how we go about doing something, and you can see already that Ed goes one way and I go a different way. So it's cool to go through this stuff.
Ed's way is the way. No. All right, so that one's good. Probably what I would do to adjust this one a little bit more for fun, to have it more what I think would authentic for that time period, because oscillators were kind of still like wavy gravy a little bit, is I might go into shift and I might go into the tuning. I might go, you see where I'm going, Scott? I'd probably go into, oops.
Yeah.
I'd probably go into, I don't know. I'd probably go into here. And let's see, the pitch. I'd go into pitch, and I'd decide who is going to be slightly out of tune. I'm not gonna say it's
well. Keep in mind when you got a chorus going on, it's almost doing the same thing. It's giving that wave and slightly detuning a little bit. But you can create that chorus effect just by going like +6 and -6. So one sound would be like +6 or up to 10.
Let's do that. Let's do -6 on the Jupiter. Excuse me, on the Juno, and then let's do +6 on the OB, and let's give it a listen. And then we'll add our choir. And then we'll add our D50.
Again, this is Ed's Not in the Air Tonight.
All right, let's move on. So mean to me. All right, so that was cool. So we were just having fun with Supersaw oriented stuff. That was pretty cool. And we could have got, with Supersaw, there's so many sounds that you could do. You could totally have, like, I could have that one there, and maybe we could do like without. Oops, wrong button. I'm having to run this all live. So we can come into here and say like, I'll take off that one. But from here, we can just have fun. Maybe I'll drop this down. Probably too much. Let's see. Oh, that's it. Do some Scarface kind of. Actually, you would put the choir up higher on this one. 'Cause I think they did that in the movie. Yeah, so you see, you can just go all over the place with this stuff. So a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and take a look at the chat now, Scott. I know.
Yeah, I was just looking at it, and I was looking at Samuel's comment. And he says, Wikipedia states that the sound was created using a Prophet 5.
What?
So
say that again?
If you want to go after that pad sound for In the Air Tonight, not the Ed version, not In the Air Tonight.
Rude.
You'd go after a Prophet 5. And the thing is that
good one,
one
Sam.
of the low-pass filters that's in there, I think, is modeled similar.
Yeah, I think it is. Look for it and find it, and you will find the way. All right, I lost the chat. Where'd you guys go? I'm so sad. Wait, here it is. Yay. All right, so that's pretty cool. So you see there's Sam. Shout out to Sam. He looked up In the Air Tonight, looked up what keyboards they were using, and was able to go, oh, that's probably this.
He basically took our advice that we didn't use and used it for the greater good.
Do as I say, not as I do. So, all right, let's see. What else do we have? Okay, I see Robin with the assist, and Kirill with the, yeah. Oh, Robin said 8,000 plus, and Kirill said 8,600 plus. So it's either way, it's a lot. It's a lot. Let me see here. Where are we, Scott? Let's see.
I don't know.
Okay. We're just having fun. Okay. Oh, wait. Tony said, where are you, Tony? You said, I'll wait. Oh, is that the song I was doing? Oh, wait.
Yeah, that's
that
the
was,
Van Halen one. That
yeah,
was,
I'm like, what is Tony waiting on? Tony, what are you waiting?
And as we know, those were OB8s.
Yeah.
That he used back then.
So do you think he probably layered them together in the recording to just fatten it up, maybe?
Possibly. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he's definitely a tone guy as far as, look at his guitar sound.
Absolutely.
But I don't know. I mean, those things sounded pretty thick on their own.
Yeah. So anyway, that's pretty cool. Mod ring sync ideas. Hold on one second. Let me think about that, and Scott too. Let's see. Oh.
Well, as Robin brought up, the Cars by Gary Newman.
I just read that.
Car Sync by the Cars.
Wasn't that was a Jupiter 8 though, wasn't it? That sync?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that one. I haven't tried to do that sound ever. So this will be kind of fun. Let me see. Yeah, let's try to do that one. If you're down, Scott, let's try that.
Sure.
Okay, let's see. And I hope everybody's enjoying this episode. Like I said, we're gonna go with some more stuff. I kind of want to do Frankenstein a little bit. I kind of want to do that one because someone mentioned that one, and that'd be kind of neat.
Well, one of the things too, we need to kind of get into the deeper editing level, so you can see: are we using PCM? Are we using PCM Sync? Is this sound using VA? So on and so forth.
Let's do that. Because of what they do. Let's go ahead and take a little peek at that, because right now I'm choosing tones that are already there. Scott's choosing tones that are already there, and then we're doing edits of those tones. But I know some of you want to start from scratch, and Scott and I were talking about this last night. A keyboardist that, if you're not down with this keyboard guy, look him up. He's a killer player, and he's a super nice cat, is Greg Philligaines. He is a monster. He is a monster
Player. But there's a Sweetwater interview, I think, that he did, or one of the interviews. He's got some great stuff with Keyscape as well, if you really want to see how talented this guy is, if you don't know. But he talks about using just presets. He never goes in and really tweaks anything, because his belief is, the creators of the keyboards have spent so much time on their presets. He's like, what am I going to do that's any different? Now, all of us probably have a different view on that, but that's his view. And I just thought it was really, really interesting and it made you kind of think sometimes. Try and find the sounds close to what you're trying to do and then tweak them. Can save you a lot of time.
Yeah.
But there's also great joy in starting something from the ground up.
Absolutely. But I know Scott, done sound design. I've done I've done sound design also, to where it's a brand new keyboard that isn't on the market yet, and you start from nothing. It's just blippity blips, and you work so hard on a sound to try and get it as best you can, and you just listen to it, and like when you're doing sound design, it could take you an hour to really, or more, to focus in on that. Yeah, Scott's never happy, so on his sounds, and they sound great, but it can take you a long time, and then when you hear somebody go, I'm gonna start from scratch, I'm like, dude, you don't know. I really worked hard to make this as awesome as I could for you. Now, let me save you the time. You can edit the sound, save some time and just go in and edit it. So just keep that in mind. You buy a synthesizer or a workstation or synthesizer such as the Fantom with over 8,000 sounds. Use them and edit them. But I digress. We're going to go in and we're going to show you inside the tone edit like we did yesterday with the drums, and then you're going to see why we go to what screens are even available real quick. So let's go ahead and focus on that for a little bit. All right, and then I do encourage you, just look up Sweetwater Greg Philligaines, and you're going to find that talk. It's just a really, especially right now since we're all at stay at home, it's just a really nice talk. He's a killer guy. And once again, I'm not endorsing any particular store, any particular company, other than the one I work for. But even though this channel, we're just talking about keys, and that's somebody that you'll enjoy. I think it's about a 30-minute interview, and he is a monster. So it's totally worth your time. All right, let's take a look at. Oh, no, let's take a look at me. No, it's not about Scott. No, okay, here we go.
Wow.
Oh, wow. You know what, Scott? Just to spite you, I am going to save. No.
You do what you want. And call it Not in the Air Tonight.
Well, okay. This brings up a good point. Okay, all jokes aside. So if I like this, sound, and, notice there's 3 yellow. This is something you guys got to know when you're doing any kind of sound design. So if I go and write the scene, if I press write scene, the scene says you have tones that are edited and they will be discarded. Are you sure? So you could save the scene, but all the edits that we just did on the tones will be gone, discarded, no longer there. So I'm going to cancel that. So that lets you know, hey, you need to save, if you like it, these Juno strings and these OB strings. So I would go right, and we'll do it real fast, OB. So it chose the OB strings. I'm going to say cool, and I'll rename it, and I'll just put on here Nothing real special. I'll just put ed for edited, just so we know. And that's cool. Great. And then now we'll go to the next one, the Juno strings we did. And some of this, as we mentioned earlier in this talk, we could have done this in the offsets, in the scene offset. So I'm going to do Juno strings and ed for, eds. It's in the air tonight.
No, not
Eds.
in the air.
Fine. Ed's not. There we go. Here you go, Scott. Oh, and also you guys got to think, like, you don't get all these characters, so you got to put in, just put into air. Into, and then air. Yeah. Oh, see, that's all I get. So I might have to go back here and backspace in the air. Boom. Not in the air, because Scott's mean. Boom. Okay, we'll do that, and there we go. So now you have that in there. So, but once again, in all seriousness, when you're doing all of this, whoops, sorry, Scott. When you're doing all of this, you got to make sure that you save the tones you were working on before you save the scene, and don't blow out the tones. And I'm warning you, but you have to do it. You're going to do it wrong, and then you're going to be like, I worked so long. And yeah, that's
save constantly, because I've done this. I was notorious for doing this. I tweak it. Oh, it just needs this. It just needs that. Da da da. And then I did something. I accidentally hit another button, and I lost everything. It takes about 10 times to do that, until it gets beaten into your head that you need to save constantly. Once you get it to a spot where you're like, okay, that's good, save. Just keep doing it. I can't say it enough.
Yep, can't say it enough. So, all right, let's go ahead and move on right here. So I just went to a new scene, and let's take a look at inside the tone edit section of the Fantom, as we did with the drums in the last episode. So we're going to just hit menu, tone edit, hit tone edit, and I'll start at the top in here. So you can see it's telling me what this tone is, and this is where I can do all my edits. The level of that particular tone, panning, priority loudness. Look, I can actually do coarse tuning and fine tuning per actual tone in the Fantom. I could have certain tones actually octave shift, and it's written to the tone. That's pretty cool. So you can do octave shift either written to the tone or written to the scene, or actually just do it on the fly using the buttons, octave buttons on the left. Tune stretch depth, analog fill. Oh, mono poly. This is a good one for you guys to know. You might have a sound there that's programmed as a mono sound, and you're like, I wish I could have poly, so I could hold more than one note at a time. Monophonic, so one note at a time. Polyphonic, more than one note at a time. Very easy. Unison detune. So this is a good one. The common one is probably going to get a lot of the stuff you're going to want to go through anyway. And Scott, once again, please just feel free to interject. That's cool. And we'll look through here. Legato swishing. So if we want to play smooth and connected, depending on what type of sound it is, this is where it will react to how your touch. It reacts to your touch in the legato in there. And you're going to notice that more in the supernatural type of sounds. Supernatural lends itself a little bit more to legato playing. Right here, Portamento or glide, depending on what school of synth you're from. Portamento switch, you can turn it on per tone, and then you can tell it what it's doing. So look, normal legato, normal or low, which is separated and detached. So that's legato, smooth and connected.
Yeah, some say legato is just a small portion of portamento. Others say legato is more like a glide. And there's a difference between the two of them. Portamento is going to change between the distance of notes, where a glide will always stay the same, even no matter how far the notes are apart from each other. So that's just a little thing to note.
Nerd. All right, so that's cool. We go in here and you can see you can adjust all of that stuff in there. Oh, here's another one that's in the common section. Bend range up, bend range down. Very easy to go in there. There's certain tones you're going to use where I might, like an electric guitar, you might want it to do a +2 up, and let me go to a electric guitar
12 down.
12
Yeah,
down
2 and
to
2.
show you.
In the vintage sense and everything like that, you didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
It was all or nothing. So if it was an octave, 12 semitones is 12 up and 12 down. But most of them were set to 2. So just going up a whole step in most cases, and it didn't matter if you went up or down, it was always 2 steps.
So let's take a look at this one, Searing Cosm. And currently right now, it is in, let's see. So it's +2. So it's +2, and then so it's -12. So that's cool. Now, one thing on this guitar that I would probably adjust right away is I like to play, right now it's in monophonic. So I might want to go ahead and have it, let's go menu, tone, edit. The bend range I like, that's cool. Let's go ahead, and go up, and I might put this one in poly. So, and if I did that, then if I go, I would have to write that tone because I did some editing on that tone. See, there's a little yellow asterisk on there. So that's just so you guys can kind of see there. You can adjust all of that. So I'll get back in there. And so you see inside here, here's a lot of cool stuff. ADSR, your attack, decay, sustain, release. You can have all of that on. So a lot of good stuff in here.
Also shows a zoom edit, just so you can see the different screen.
So at the top here it says to zoom, and that's this. So right now we're in Tone Edit Pro. Zoom Edit has it's actually a different look. Would you say this one's more like graphical, Scott? More picture based oriented?
Yeah, a little bit more graphical. It could be easier. It's going to be most of the parameters and everything are identical to either. It's just looking at it different ways. Sometimes, however, there are some things that are a little bit different. Like, I don't know if you go into pitch and zoom in, if it shows you the bend range or not.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
So
some things are a little bit different. So definitely check out the both views.
Yeah, and so I see here I can still get to mono and poly, and then I can do that. Yeah, I get my Portamento and all that stuff, but I'm not able to get into the pitch up, pitch down. Yeah, it looks a little bit different, there. It might be in a different spot. So this isn't a right or a wrong way. It's just a personal preference, whichever way you like to do your editing. So,
or if there's a specific parameter that you're like, it's got to be in here somewhere. Check the other one. Check the zoom. Check the other.
So there's tone edit, and then there's zoom edit. There's different ones. Okay, but a lot of them do share the same parameters. They're just in a different spot. All right. So that was common structure. This is where we're going to get into the different structures. Oh, before I forget, remember, if you guys were watching yesterday, we have a pad mode. This is what you need to know. Pad mode, press pad mode, and partial switch select. So now, and I'll switch it so you guys will see in a second. So I'm going to switch partial switch and select. Now, it's going to be green over here. And see, it's turning on and off. Well, it's just turning on what I am editing in the partials. Okay, if I want to edit certain partials. Oops. And then the red is actually turning on the waveforms in that tone. Okay, so red turns on and off the waveforms. And as Scott said yesterday, if I'm working on something sound design wise, I might turn off the other waveforms so I can focus on that partial. And if it's not lit yellow, I'm not going to be editing it. Okay, so it has to be lit for me to be able to edit in there. So that's that there. Let's keyboard. This is pretty cool. This is where we're going to adjust are key range of the tone. Okay, so you can have different key. You can have a layer
Key range of the partial.
of the partial. Yeah. So
Right.
the actual whole tone could have different partials with different key ranges. And as we saw on the drums the other day, depending on how hard you hit it, we had velocities. But we could also have in here where we have different waveforms, and different waveforms come in at different times in there. And let me show you real quick where that would be. I'll pick one real fast. Oops, slow down, Ed. All right, so zone view here. I'm going to choose, I think it's over here. Go in, just so here, not drums. Shift, so I can go over and see. It's probably in the, I think the stacks. We do have some sounds that have that in there. So anyway, that do have some splits and layers within at the tone level. So anyway, I'll get back to what I was doing. So that's there. This is where we do in there. And so a lot of range. And then also you see this keyboard section, we can adjust the keyboard range up and down, and also the velocity range up and down. And I know I use this one a lot, the velocity range up and down, if I'm having, say I have like a clav going in the key bed, but I want brass to kind of kick in. This is where I'll adjust that in there. So just pop it there. If I want to do it at the tone level, I personally usually do it at the scene level. So that's there. Now we're going to get where everybody kind of wants to see is in the oscillator section, and this is where we can choose what type of oscillators we're using. So if I press enter, I can see PCM, virtual analog, PCM sync, supersaw, and noise, and I can just easily go through them right here. And go ahead, Tom.
The other thing too is that next to the screen, to the right of the screen, you have that whole oscillator section. If you push the parameter button in that oscillator section, I believe it's parameter, you'll get the same screen. So you don't have to necessarily be in the menu. You hit param, it's going to bring it up. So that's something that's really, really cool with the Phantom that I don't see on a lot of other keyboards, is that I don't necessarily have to go menu, pick tone edit. I can just start moving those knobs that are to the right of the screen, or selecting those buttons to change oscillator type and things like it.
Yeah, and notice it kicked it over to tone edit zoom, and I was in pro over here. So either way, so I flipped it that way, just right here. Now check this out. In here, we can go inside, and it's using internal wave group or expansion wave group. Remember, we did this in another video. We have now, if I go to expansion wave group, I can actually go in and find even more waveforms. And I might go to pro on this one. PCM, expansion, wave bank. Remember, since you have all those EXZ expansions installed, you can use any waveform from any expansion board in any tone, anywhere in here. And there are a ton of them. We can go through them this way. We can go ahead and hold shift and jump by tens. Or as one of our guys yesterday showed us, we can also do it this way. So a lot of different ways we can access. And then also keep looking that each one of these tones can have two waveforms each, so it could be stereo. So you can really dig deep in there and kind of get in there. And then of course we go further, we can adjust the gain and look, pulse width and all that other stuff right in there. So a lot of different things. And I'll move a little bit faster because I know we want to get back to making some noise. Here we can adjust the pitch and the tuning. You can see all that for there. Let's go to zoom and see. Well, I'll just keep it here.
Well, the other thing to keep in mind, anytime you see the ENV, it's an envelope. What an envelope is telling you is what's happening over time. Pitch is direct, so you're pitching it up or detuning it or whatever, and it's instant. But anything that's in an envelope is something that can happen over time. So just think of it like that. If it's a pitch attack that's brought up or any of the other settings, is that it will possibly happen, or like a fade. When you hit the note, you won't hear it, but then a few seconds later, then the pitch can change or drop. So, or if it's a filter or an amp envelope, things like that. So just keep in mind, if you don't know, I'm sure a lot of you guys here already know this, but in an envelope, again, it's something that's happening over time.
Yeah, so that's that's pretty cool that we can do that there. So pitch envelope over time. And same thing with filter. Here's the direct, like Scott was saying earlier. And we can choose our filters here. And check this out. In the filter, once again, the button, if we hit parameter, it takes us right to our filters. It took us to the tone edit zoom so we can see and get our different filter types, the slopes, and cutoff and resonance all from here. I'm going to go back to Pro. And filter envelope, once again, over time, how it envelopes over time. We got our amp envelope. So a lot of really cool functions. We have the LFO, and we have a step LFO, not just one step LFO. We have 2-step LFOs. Now on this side, it looks okay, but when you go to the zoom section, you can really go ahead and see. I can adjust the different position. Whoops. But then I can adjust the depth of it, be it positive or negative, and I could just keep on going there. And I can also adjust, slow down, Ed. I could adjust what type of curve it is in here. Really good. And then we can adjust how many step it is in the LFO. So you can have a lot of fun with this one in here, and then choose if we're going to do tempo sync or key trigger on and off. So 2 LFOs, step LFOs that we can use right in there. So pretty cool. And then there's this section called matrix control. Hey, Scott, who was it? It was Alan Shearer. Was it Alan?
Yeah.
Alan
did a fantastic video on using the matrix control. I think he did it for like a sax sound.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely, what is it? ZT Audio? I think it's ZT Audio is his YouTube.
On YouTube, yeah.
But definitely check it out because he really goes into depth on the matrix control. So basically what you can do with the matrix control is you've got several different options here, control 1, 2, 3, or 4, is that once it's set up in the tone, you can have it control other things. Mm-hmm. So if it's routed more or less to something else, you've got a lot of different options, and it's something that can be really, really cool.
Yeah, and our colleague and good friend David Allen will use matrix controls to open up and close filters, and then have LFOs kick on dependent on how he plays the keyboard. So he has it where a lot of it will be done through velocity, and it's really cool. So I'm hoping when we have him on next week, he can go over this and give us some good examples of how he did that, because it's really neat. I've always admired that when he plays, because it's like he's playing, but you hear the keyboard go wow and opening up and filters, and you're like, what is he doing? So it's all matrix control in there. So that's something that's real cool there. All right, so I think that's enough. There's so much stuff in here that we can go through, but I just wanted to. I'm gonna put it on both of us, Scott, so you can see. So, oops, sorry, Scott. Oh. So I just wanted to have it to where look through these screens. Now, the great thing about this is you're not going to mess up your Fantom. Just take. Don't be afraid to go in there and just adjust.
Well, I mean, I'll put it back to when I was first learning and things like that. Again, Juno 60, so analog. So it's a lot easier to just reach out and start moving controls than digging through a menu. But the thing is that at that time, I didn't know what ADSR stood for, but I did know what it did when it reacted. So sometimes the best thing to do is just get in there and start moving things around and try and get an idea of what it's doing. Once that starts to stick in your brain, you'll have a sound. You're like, oh, I know exactly what I need to do and where to find it, and go in there and tweak it.
Absolutely, yeah. It's just explore with it. And with over 8,000 sounds, you have a lot of fun work to do. Hey, Scott, so let's read some of the comments real quick. I see. Squirrel. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Yeah, Nico, we're still going. We just talkie. Let me see here. Guess I need to enter the Tone of the Month Club. Okay. I'm not good at setting up controllers for everything, though. You're not good at it now, XP50 player, but the more you try it, you're going to get better at it. You're going to get better. I want to encourage everybody here. You know what? If you're not good at it, no better time than the present to do it. You know, learn about the filtering. Just mess with filters. Learn about the envelopes. Some of the control features. You're going to make mistakes. It's all good, but you're gonna make some cool like, how did I do that? That was a fun. That was actually a cool mistake. And how did I do that? And you're gonna dig, and you're gonna actually learn. Let's see, Scott. Let's see, Am Mozar Badawai. We sorry about that. He says multiple effects are possible for a single tone. In a question, he asks if that is, and it is.
It is possible. If you go into the effects screen real quick, Ed.
Yeah, I'm going. Hold on. Woo.
Effects edit.
Hold on. Okay, cool. All right, so we're gonna go into the effects. So menu, and we could have gone it this way too. Parameter. I just
Yep.
I hit.
Well, that's one way. Yeah, the effects edit is what you really have to get into.
Yeah, that's one way for parameters. But I'll go into menu and effects edit. Here we go. Menu, effects edit. All right, cool. Go ahead and explain, Scott, while I look at.
So it shows you in the top left what is the part that you're affecting. So in this case, it's zone 1. It shows the MFX that's being used and an EQ if you wanted to add it. But it doesn't have to route directly to the mains. You can route it to an IFX 1 or 2. So you can have the zone or the tone have its own individual effects, and then you can run it to up to 2 more IFX. Now keep in mind that the IFX are shared in that whole scene. So yeah, you can run 3 effects there, but if you had another sound or another tone in there, they can run through those IFX too if you want it. But yeah, you can do up to 3 right here.
And let me go. What Scott is saying also, don't forget. So, and we're going to do this. I just want you to see it because this has been confusing for people for years. Okay. Also, don't forget we can run to chorus and reverb as well, and then also a master compressor and stuff. So right now, as we see it, zone 1, and if I press the button over here to the different zones, notice it changes the zone in the effects that we're editing. Just so you can see. Now you could also go in here and hit the drop down, and you could choose that way. But I wanted to show you guys this is that. As Scott was saying, as it's laying right now, the effects are going straight to the main. But look, there's a little drop down. Look at that. So, as Scott was just saying, we could say, I want this to go to IFX. And let's take a look at that. Whoa, so what is that doing, Scott? So we just essentially took that zone 1, as Scott just explained, and just by hitting that drop-down menu, we told it to go to IFX 1, and then take a look. It's going IFX 2, and then going to the other effects.
Yeah, and you also have an option there to run them serial or parallel.
Let's see what that looks like. So serial, what does serial mean, Scott? It's pretty much one into the other, right?
Yep,
okay.
Correct.
And then let's go parallel and see what happens. We've got the pretty screen. So check that out. So we can actually, I wonder if we could do this, Scott. I wonder what you just said. Maybe we could do one zone effect. Let's say zone 1 we put to IFX 1, but then zone 2 we say IFX 2.
Yes.
That's another way you could do it. So you could have one zone going through to IFX 1. And then you could have the zone 2 going to IFX 2. But as Scott said earlier, if we put them in serial, there we go. Now you see they're just going in serial to each other that way. So
yeah, but zone 2 should bypass IFX 1. Check out zone 2.
Let's take a look. And once again, everybody, I'm just pressing my zone buttons over here just to do that. I could have done it here, but I'm doing it here. So, yeah, check that out. So, there are some combinations you can do right there. That could be neat. And then once again, if I wanted to edit the MFX, I could just hit the MFX here. I can go into the edits, and edit. Once again, if I wanted to edit my IFX, I can go in and tell what IFX, which I guess would be insert effects, would go here. So absolutely. So right through there.
Okay.
And
Big squirrel, but awesome stuff.
yeah, big squirrel. But this is something that I know a lot of us have had. Like, I don't understand. What does this mean? You know, and that's cool. Also, once again, chorus and reverb for the overall keyboard. A lot of different choices here that we can choose in here. So a lot of different things that we can kind of go in there and kind of have fun with. There's the reverb, and then here is some of the chorus and delay settings in there. And then this, don't forget, this is also, we can choose what's routed to maybe the analog filter section, which we will probably get into that later as well. And then the different master compressor and master EQ. So a lot of good stuff in here. A lot of good stuff in here. Let me see. Also, we could have, this is also where we could go ahead and route not only to the IFX, but to the sub 1 and sub 2 on the keyboard. Okay, so we can route them this way. You know, I like this new way, Scott. So as you're changing stuff, you see the different audio path of everything. So,
Absolutely. Yeah. No, anything that visually helps is a big deal.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So all right, let's get. So that's a big squirrel, but yeah, that's actually a good thing for you guys to kind of mess with and just kind of have some more fun. So that's pretty cool. And then don't forget, you can go ahead and turn off master effects. You can turn on and off different effects. So that's cool. So all right, let me get back. All right, let's see where we're at in here. Oh, let's try and do what was somebody was just asking. Let me see. There's multiple effects. Okay, cool. Hey Thomas, glad you're digging the episode. Awesome. Someone asked for a sound that I was interested in doing too. Oh, someone asked, a side chain on the Fantom.
Yeah, I know it's possible. I don't know.
Let us think about that, because as I'm seeing it, I don't want to get too much into the effects today, and I know we've already gone into the effects.
Yeah, well, it's like basically what we should probably do is just initialize the tone and make something basic, like a string sound or a brass sound or something like that. Just kind of go through the steps. I mean, what do you think? What do you guys think?
Yeah, should we just do an episode with just effects, going through different effects combos and kind of trying stuff, and maybe we could show how to do side chains, and then maybe we could show the differences. Let's see. We'll see if we can do it. But I know somebody.
Actually, sidechain. One of the people would probably be best with that is David Allen.
Oh yeah.
Him on.
When we have David Allen, we'll have him do sidechain. That'll be cool. Hey Robin, thanks for joining us. Let's see. No, somebody asked. Oh, let's figure out how to do the Tom Sawyer. Remember we were
I just need some time on it. Yeah, I just need some time on it, because it's not a sound that I know off top. I mean, I know the sound off the top of my head, but how to go about doing it, I've got 3 different ways in my head. Well, I've done it on other keyboards, but I haven't tried it in the Fantom yet.
Yeah, so we're gonna try that. Hey Enzo, glad you could join us. Aramis says, "Bad are we?" It's okay. The explanation, but it looks complicated. It looks complicated at first, but like I said, right now, if you own this keyboard, it's your keyboard. Learn it. It's okay. You're gonna make mistakes, but you're gonna have happy accidents where it's like, oh, I understand now, and it's gonna be a game changer.
Yeah.
I know we've all done this, and it's game changer. All right, so let's go ahead, without further ado, let's go ahead and see if we can make a Tom Sawyer sound. And I think, what sound you're gonna try and make? We're gonna try and make of the Tom Sawyer, probably that lead sound first, maybe.
Well, that lead sounds not too bad.
But it's
the main bass.
The main bass
sweep. Yeah, it's like a Rezo sweep.
All right, let's go ahead and let's do the lead sound first, so we can have a win. Let's do the lead sound, and then we can kind of go from there and see what we have. All right, hold on, let me get this back. Boom and boom. All right, so we're going to start off little gato here right there. Okay, I'm going to initialize scene. That's where I'm going to start right here. And then I'm going to go into the zone view. And remember, once again, zone view, you can go ahead and see 1 zone, 4 zones, 8 zones, or 16 zones, whatever you want. But for our example, I like to see 4, but in our example, I'll go ahead and do 1 for right now. All right, so Scott, what do you suggest we should do? We're going to do the lead sound first of the Tom Sawyer. So I'll probably go into enter first off, and you said it was probably some kind of sync sound, and I'm going to use that search feature inside the Fantom, and instead of searching the piano, I'm going to hit all category OK. And
yeah, I mean, I'd say it's definitely got some saw in it. I'd have to go back and listen to it real quick.
Go listen to it real quick, and I'll see what I can butcher. So I'm going to go ahead and do SYNC for sync. We have 53 hits, so that's cool. Let's see, and let me watch my volume. Let's see. I'm playing it so wrong. I'm sorry, everybody. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to put a single star. I'm going to rate this one as a possible. That's too much. And then notice I just did a rating, so I can say, oh, let me just kind of have that. I don't know if that's the right key, and I don't think that's the right sync. Let's see. And we're kind of just having fun looking through some sound. And let's. That's totally not right. And don't forget, we're going to go in and do some editing. I know Scott's listening real fast to the song. And I don't know if that's right, but I kind of dig the vibe of it. Oops, sorry, Scott.
Yeah, it's kind of got the same feel to it.
Remember I just put a rating by it, rating 1, so I can kind of pull up the ones that I kind of think. So nope. I like it, but no. I'm gonna put a 1 by it. No. Oh, I like that. I'll just put a 1. I don't think that's it, but I like the sound, so I can go to it later. That's not it. Okay, let me go back. These last 3. It's not. Is it this? No, it's not that. Oh, look at this one. Look at this one, everybody. What does this one say, Scott? Could that be? No, let's see. Is that total cheating, Scott?
Well, for what we were supposed to do, yes, but that works, you know.
That works. Let's take a look at what we just did. I don't even know if this is all. So on one of the SRX expansion boards, EXZ8, they did a sound called Sync Rush SRX. I don't know that. I'm probably playing the wrong key.
Play it an octave down, just out of curiosity.
I'm gonna go back into those. I'm gonna go back into the ones that we just did, and let me search again. Sync, and I'm gonna pull up just those couple that I starred. Okay, so here's. What is it? Which octave is it? Or is it?
I think it's 1 up. Yeah.
Upper or lower?
Up.
Yeah. So here's number one. Go ahead and put in the chat which one sounds like it. Or
Oh.
so what are you choosing?
It's funny because like in my brain, I'd probably layer 2 or 3 of those.
Okay. So in my brain, even though this one says that, and I haven't heard the song in a minute, so I'm probably totally wrong. But I like that sound.
That sound layered with one of the upper ones is probably almost it.
Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and do that, everybody, and we'll kind of do that. So I'm going to choose, I choose you, sync lead 4. So I'm going to say, put that in there. And I'm going to hit zone views just so I can see. And then I am going to go back into enter, and I'm going to search, since I know what it's called. Oh, it's still in pianos. I'll go ahead and put it all category, and I am going to search sync and that rush sound, and it brought it up. There it is. All right, cool. All right, so I'm going to bring that secondary sound down. So here's the first one that I like. And then I'm going to slowly bring up that secondary sound, that the SRX one. Oh, it helps if I turn it on. Oh, rookie. So.
Yeah, and if you want to add some space, I mean, obviously, if you threw a chorus on it, it's going to add some width. But also, too, you could even pan them slightly.
Oh.
One a little bit to the left or halfway to the left, and the other one halfway to the right. And you get some really wide sounds that way.
That's cool. So probably how we would do that, Scott, is I'd probably go in, see, level here. Level's cool. I like the level. Nothing here. I'd probably go into my shift, into my zone edit area, and that will be in the level pan section. So as Scott is saying, or I'm listening.
You can use the knob that's above the slider.
What knob above the slider?
So you go slider, button, and then knob. That top knob is the pan.
Oh, duh. You talking about this one?
Yes, I'm talking about that one.
This one that I never use?
Yes.
Okay, let's see. What are you new? Okay, so here. So yeah, we can look at that. Hey, Scott, just so you know, these are for pannings.
Yes.
So we'll go ahead and pan the part 1, zone 1, and pan these guys. It's going to be hard to probably hear, but yeah, probably pan them all both, about 20. Yeah. Whoops, my bad. That probably, you know what? It's I don't think it's cheating per se. I don't think it's wrong, but it's like, that's good for me,
Yeah, and it's like if you turn up the chorus send for both of those parts a little bit, it's going to get it even a little bit more boomy or wider.
So I'm going to save that one because people always ask for that one, but
it's such a killer song.
Yeah, So we're going to save that real quick, and here we go. I'm going to save it now. Did I do anything to the tones?
Do the chorus. Add some chorus to both of them real quick.
All right, so let's go ahead
and
do chorus. So I'll go ahead and go menu. We're going to go into effects, edit right here.
No, go easy way is go into mixer.
Oh, let's go mixer. Okay, great. And
there's the chorus ends, yep.
Oh, there it is right there. Duh, right in front of me. All right, cool. So And this I believe is for the entire. No, it's for separately. Oops, wrong knob.
Yeah, one thing it's missing. It does need a little legato or a touch of portamento.
Okay, so we could actually go. Let me see. We could probably go into the tone effects there, tone edit, and where's my? Maybe I'll go to the zoom. Here we go. So there we go.
I would go try like 20. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
about 20 in the porta time.
So I'm going to turn off zone 2 for right now. And the way, just so everybody sees, I was bringing them in. I was just hitting here, and it's changing which one I'm working on, the zones. You can see it says zone. All right, good. So we'll start with zone 1, and I turned off zone 2 just so we can have a clear ears. Oh, let's see. Oh, do we want to do legato?
Yeah.
Turn legato on. Oops. Too much, right? Probably
Too much. Yeah, it's a slight amount. So notice how it says porta start. It's changing the pitch or the note.
Oh, okay.
Porta, you got porta mode, porta type, and then.
And I'm also playing a little more legato when I'm going from. Then that would probably be my indication, is just go here. I'm going to go ahead and leave that one there, and I'm going to go to the next one. Notice when I hit the zone, it changes zone 2, and I'm going to turn on zone 2 and turn off zone 1 so we can hear. I already like it that it's on note, as Scott said, and then we'll put it on legato, and then we'll adjust our porta time.
Go, turn it to mono. It's mono poly. Turn it to mono.
Oh, there we go. Thank you.
It's obviously affecting something else. I don't know what that's set to.
Oh, it's set to something else right there. It's not liking that, Scott, on that one. You know what? Let's
turn it off.
Hold on. Here's this is a good one. Say you're going in there and you're editing, and you did something like, oh no, what did I do? Watch this. It's fixed. It's fixed. It's fixed. So that quickly, if you tried something, and this is a great example, if you tried something like, oh, I don't know what I just did, I wish I could have it back. Well, how do I get it back? Just exit, go to another sound next to it, or below it, or above it, and then go back. Okay, so we're going to leave that one there because we don't have the time to dissect it. But now I'm going to turn on part 1 and part 2. So I like that. So we want to go ahead and save this. But look once again. Since we edited the Portamento and Legato on that sync lead 4, we have to write the tone first, and I'm going to rename it, and I might name it Ed for edited, and cool. And then now I can go in and save the tone. Okay, save the scene. And I'll rename this scene, clear all, and I might call this one T. Sawyer. Sawyer. So that way we can easily call it up. Okay. And I would probably do this as a scene, call it Tom Sawyer, because now we could go ahead and focus on the other side. And then if we were playing this live, if I wanted to go into the scene, I would go ahead and probably do a split, for all of that lead stuff, and then put that bass we're going to work on. Well, let's go ahead and do that, Scott. I'm going to go ahead and turn off these two guys, and then we'll start. Let's start at number 4. I'm going to leave this zone number 3 kind of blank.
What are you doing?
We're going to do the other part of the Tom Sawyer, the bass. I think we were kind of doing.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Oh, great! So I haven't heard it. So. What is it? It goes brown and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's a sweep. Yeah,
it's a sweep. Okay, so we're gonna try it. Okay, but what I was gonna say is we saved we saved this as a scene because we actually put 2 different tones, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm saving it as a scene, and then once we're done, we'll split where the lead is versus the bass kind of thing. And then let's have some fun. Real quick, I want to go to chats first real fast and see where everybody's at. And Scott is on pause. Here, we'll look at the keyboard. Scott's still on pause. Rude, Scott. All right, see here. Let me bring this.
Hold on. I'm here.
Okay.
Sorry, I was answering a question in there, and I needed to sneeze.
Okay, cool. There's always factory reset. Absolutely. Let's see. Okay, not too many. Oh, here the questions are updating. Okay, I think we said that. Why not creating a tone from scratch? I think we said why we're not doing that because there's over 8,000 tones in here. If you want to, we could go ahead and do that, but I'm just like, just like it's already in here. We can do it. Let's do that another one, or maybe I'll do that on a separate video on Roland Product Support channel. Okay, because I'm over here because a lot of times on a keyboard like this, I want the speed, and there's so many sounds that you pay for. I'd rather just use those and just kind of do some tweaking. But we could. I just honestly, I kind of don't want to. I'm like, I don't think I'm as good a programmer as some of the cats that are really working hard on this. And then as we mentioned earlier, when you're really programming from scratch, it's going to take a lot longer. A lot of times because you're just so picky about what you want, and I already have all these presets set that I can just.
But at the same time, it is good to know.
It is. We'll get into that another one. I'm just not prepared to just go from scratch, because we've jumped around a little bit on this episode. It's all sound design, but we got into the effects and stuff like that too. Just had a little fun. Let's see. You forgot to switch the lower part of the screen. I did. You see, you were changing. Oh, I think Kirill put that. I think he might have been talking about what that issue was. You forgot.
Yep, the Portamento when it got all wonky.
Yeah. Okay. Whoops. All right, so let's see if we can bring in that bass sound a little bit and kind of go from there.
Call it up on YouTube or something like that so you can hear it.
I don't want to. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, I'll call it up. Let me see here. Can I log into YouTube and look up something and hear something simultaneous? Like have been doing.
That's a good question.
Let's see. Tom Sawyer. How do you spell Sawyer? Sawyer. Rush. All right. Let's see if you guys hear this too. And we're going to see. Oh, here we go. Let's see if you guys hear it. Oh, it's a commercial. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, here we go. Here we can see.
So it's that sound right there, that sweep.
That meow. Let's see. Okay, let's take suggestions from you guys. I'm going to go ahead and switch it to the keyboard so we can see. And it's that meow. I'm going to go ahead and let's start. So we're still in that Tom Sawyer scene that we're kind of going to create. And I'm going to leave zone 3 kind of. No, I'll go ahead and use zone 3. And I'll get the zone view, and on that one, Scott, it's not changing pitch. It's just a big sweep.
Yeah, it's like a res sweep or reso sweep. I mean, you can try and look and see what shows up under res or reso.
Yeah, let's look at that and all category once again, and let's see what we have here, and then we'll try and recreate it. And then I'd probably go with some kind of bass. Well, here's a bunch. Here's a bunch of reso bass. Oh, look, reso sweep bass. Let me turn up the keyboard.
Nope.
No, I was trying to like to make it work. Let's see. I'm gonna put a 1 star by that one as a possibility. I just love that sound too. What do you think about that as a possibility for a sweep?
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, you could also try and look for sweep or anything like that. And also Rezo, sometimes they may put it in there with a Z.
Oh, look at this.
That 21 had the right feel to it on the sound.
So maybe I'll put a 1 on that guy, and it's definitely not the Rezo guitar.
No.
Hold on, let me see. Woo!
That Rezo square bass.
Let's see. Up or
Down.
down? Down. Ah.
Rezo sweep. What's the Rezo sweep down?
I kind of like if let's go to the star ratings of those. Ooh, not that one. That's a different one. Which one do you guys think? I'm thinking. What do you think, Scott? I'm thinking that 15 might be the one.
Yep. I think you're starting to realize, though, it's a little bit more complicated than you think.
No. Absolutely. But I'm thinking like if we can find something in that vein, then maybe we can come into here into the filter and kind of start. We can really adjust it and then go into the envelopes of the filter and really start kind of tweaking it. You know.
Yep.
So what I'm looking for, everybody, is I'm looking for a tone that's in that vibe, you know, the bro, because I know we're gonna have to do a little bit of work with the filter, the filter's cutoff, and then also the envelope to really kind of make it open and close. So it's actually opening that filter. Wow. No. Was it closing? See, I always mess that up. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna say let's start with this, Scott, and see what we can do here. So I'm gonna reach over. So maybe start with the filter, and I'm using a low pass filter.
Yeah, it needs to be bright first, and then it comes down.
Yeah, and let me adjust. Let me see if I can. Oh, here, look, we can look at some of the other filters in here. So I'm doing it by hand so we can kind of see. That was that MG filter. Let me go back. Here we go. That could be. That's decent.
What's the JP, the Jupiter one?
Okay, not that one. Well, let's see. JP. Let me open it up all the way.
No.
It didn't have enough bite for what I think we wanted. No, not that one. MG P5. I'm thinking that one might be the winner. Let me turn it down a little bit so it's not blowing you guys out. Woo, it's still loud. I think it's gonna be that MG, the MG one. Okay, so let's start with that. Okay, let's start there. So we're going to start there with that MG, and then we're going to go into the parameters, and we're going to want to use which one are we going to want to use? Every one. Oh, you can't really see it, but are we going to want to use pitch envelope, filter envelope, or amp envelope? Survey says, I would say, what, Scott? Probably filter envelope. All right. So let's start adjusting envelopes, and I'm going to go into the parameters so we can see a little bit more of the screen, and that could be kind of cool. And let's see what we can do. All right, so we wanted to kick on pretty much immediately, don't we, Scott? Almost.
Yeah, it's really thin at the top of it. That's the other thing too that you have to keep in mind is that it starts off thin and then gets big. So how do you do that? Again, for me, it would be trial and error.
Yeah. So would the decay be like a faster decay? And then I'm trying to think on here. Oh, not that. Get a sweep. And you guys help out too. This is actually kind of fun. So we got it MG, we got it at -24, cutoff, and now we have the envelope on.
You need more decay. Yeah, the decay should bring it down.
There's my max decay. Not sustain, because it's not going to really sustain.
Right, so just hold the note for a second.
And not even the release.
Yeah, but that decay, isn't it too, it's kind of too sharp, right? It was there and then it disappeared real quick. It dropped down.
Yeah, look, I have it all the way opened up, the decay. And that's a fast decay. We want it over time. Let me look to the Pro edit and see if we can have some of the time variant filter stuff. Here you go, the filter envelope. Oh, here. Filter sensitivity, filter curve. You are probably right, Scott. I probably bit off more than I can chew at this time. Let me see here. I wonder, because that particular filter doesn't have a time variant per se. That's not it. Okay. I'm gonna change a different filter. We'll go back in. What are you doing? See. Okay. This one might get me, everybody. Scott was right. Not actually. Scott's right a lot. Okay.
Trust me, I've done it before, and like I said, it was just constant trial and error. I don't even remember exactly what I did.
And I'm trying to get that constant sweep over there, you know, and it's not working. It's me. So I tell you what. Let's go ahead, and I'm gonna make this homework. I'm gonna make this homework, and we're gonna get this down. So give us time on that. We're gonna get this one down. I see we're already, I think, almost 2 hours in. So
2 hours.
2 hours in. Let me see. Need fast LFO sign. Need fast sign LFO mod on the cutoff. Okay, cool. I'm gonna try that stuff. All right, cool. We're gonna do some homework on this one. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode 13. Oh, my camera. Look, see?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, episode 13 of Synth Talk. We're going to do some more stuff for you. I'm going to work on this for homework. Tomorrow is Thursday, so that'll be the last episode of this week, episode 14. Tomorrow we're going to do a general discussion on the Jupiter XM. We're going to switch over to Jupiter XM because we have to train some people on Friday on the Jupiter XM at Roland, so that's going to be cool. Good little sharpening of the saw. So check with us tomorrow at 2 o'clock Central Standard Time as we go over the Jupiter XM. Once again, thank you guys all for watching. Remember, as we are in this pandemic, we are here for you. Use this time to really work on the sound design of the Fantom. Start going in there and here's an assignment for you guys. Go ahead and pick some of the songs that you want to emulate, and I would love to hear it. I know Scott would too. Put them on the different Fantom users groups inside Facebook. Put them on there. I love hearing the audio, but seeing the video and the audio of you guys showing what you've done. That's cool. You don't have to explain how you did it because it might be a happy accident, but I love hearing that, and it really makes us feel good. So go ahead, and if you can, over this weekend, tomorrow we're going to talk about Jupiter XM, but for this Fantom, for all you Fantom guys out there, go ahead and work on some sounds. Show me how to do this Jupiter sound. Show me how to do this not Jupiter, Tom Sawyer bass. Show me, see if you can do that, and then come up with some other sound. I love to see your 80s sounds, and then also don't forget. I believe also, Scott, there's a way to share. You can export tones. Okay, don't forget on the Fantom, you can export tones and share them amongst each other. So
that's with the Zencore engine.
Yeah, with the Zencore engine, not necessarily with the expansion boards, but with the Zencore engine, you can go ahead and create custom tones and then export them so you can share them with other Fantom people in there. So, all right, we're gonna let you go for now, but go ahead.
A couple questions here. Thank you, Tony. Tony's like, thanks, guys. Again, you're the best. Thank you so much, Tony.
Yeah, really appreciate it.
But one of the things was, is it possible to control an analog filter with an expression pedal? Yes, as long as that analog filter, I know like a regular cutoff filter and things like that is CC74 in Roland products. So you would just assign the pedal for CC74. With the analog filter, I would think it's the same, but I have to double check. They may have assigned a different number to it, but you could do that. And then the other one, I think Carilla is talking about how to assign like an LFO or something like that in an already pre-existing pattern that they've created in the sequencer. You probably have to go back and edit the tone if you wanted to add it to it. You may be able to assign something to one of the mod wheels. I have seen cutoff sweeps with the mod wheels recorded into the pattern sequencer. I haven't tried it personally, but I know some of those parameters, we're still waiting for some of that stuff to show up in an update.
So there's great questions, and give all these things a try, and you should be good. And I think we're going to cut it off, but like once again, in closing, everybody practice your social distancing, practicing your stay at home, no matter what country or what city, what state, wherever you're from. Just everybody be safe. Remember, wash your hands. Don't hoard the food. Don't hoard the toilet paper. Take care of all your elders out there, and that could just be shopping for them and dropping them off some food. Don't visit with them, or if you do, visit through the glass so that way we keep them protected. A lot of people that are really suffering right now, so let's do our best to kind of ease the suffering, and let's get through this. But anyway, this is Ed Diaz and Mr. Scott Berry. Make sure you go to his YouTube page, Scott Berry. Just look up on there. I think is it Scott Berry Keys or is it just Scott Berry? I think it's
Scott Berry. I think the previous one I had was T-O-T Keys with the Z. But when I started doing the Jupiter uploads, it was already logged into my Google and started a whole new thing. So I'll be adding to that as we go.
Yeah, so
definitely check it out.
Check out that. To go to his YouTube channel, go to my YouTube channel, which I think you're here. If you like this video, make sure you go ahead and like, subscribe, and then also put the bell notification so you know we're doing this. After this show later today, I'll put up the link for the Synth Talk 14, which we're going to talk about Jupiter XM, and then hopefully by next week we'll have Scott's studios ready to go so he can go ahead and take over some different show his screens and really go through some of his ways that he does things. Anyway, you guys take care. This is Ed Diaz and Scott Berry signing off. Take care, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, peace.
Thanks so much. Bye.